Hello, folks. Johnny Moe here, and welcome back to Omen Adventures presents a Song of Ice and Fire campaign, Dance of Sand. And we are going to pick up... Actually, no, let's not pick up. Let's recap. In the last episode, Rikaro Sand attended the royal feast before the wedding. Being a bit of a wallflower, just doing his job as Aemond Sand's bodyguard, keeping an eye on him, other people who are taking notice of him and the sort. And Oberyn Martell came up to him and said, like, hey, there's, this is supposed to be a celebration. There's lots of things going around. Maybe, mingle a little bit. Just don't stand there holding up the wall, looking glum and suspicious. So Rikaro did start to look around, picked up on some maids' gossip, some rumors that had been kind of circulating amongst the nobles of the court. One being that Sansa Stark, the eldest daughter of Ned Stark, was going to be betrothed to the King Robert Baratheon's son, Joffrey Baratheon. And he found that there might be a little bit more truth to these whispers than just simple idle gossip. Walking around the feasting hall, he ran into a little exchange between one of Littlefinger's agents and somebody in the service of House Clegane. They seem to be discussing finances, just about, how much money is going into this wedding, and should, Gregor Clegane be worried that money isn't going to be going his way. He was reassured that it wasn't, that the Starks are paying a majority of the sum for this event. Then just walking around, stumbles into Aemond Sand, his blood brother. And Aemond is talking with the prince himself, who was a little bit drunk, and they trade words back and forth. Joffrey kind of reminding Rikaro that, like, hey, listen, just because you're here at the royal feast protecting a, son of a Prince of Dorne, you should still mind your courtesies for talking about the nobility. And it was alluded to, Rikaro kind of let slip that there's rumors about the prince and Sansa Stark, and he realized he might have overstepped, maybe letting on that he has information that people aren't actually supposed to be knowing is true. And then the talk turned to the tournament that was going to be held after the wedding, and the prince kind of invited Aemond to join in the squires melee, just not the full-blown melee where knights and swords will be fighting, but just kind of a smaller one for squires, just a more common folk style sparring with swords and weapons and armor. Aemond agreed, but insisted that Rikaro join with him, and the prince decided, like, yeah, that would be fine. And the prince left. Aemond, with a lot of insisting, urged Rikaro to join in the festivities and dancing. Rikaro wound up dancing with, what was her name again? Belena Snow, the young girl that the two of them had saved earlier that day from a mugging. Found out that she is also a bastard of the North. So they kind of have a little bit of even status footing with each other, and Ricaro danced really well. More Dornish style flowy dancing. Eventually, the two parted. Aemond came and sort of congratulated Ricaro, and then Joanna Lannister, the daughter of Elia Martell and Jaime Lannister, arrived. Joanna and Aemond are cousins, and so they caught up a little bit. She kind of poked fun at Ricaro for his dancing. Aemond suggested that the two of them dance together. Ricaro tried very politely to decline the offer, but in the end, Aemond got his way, and the Sand Lion Lannister and Ricaro wound up dancing. Ricaro did not do too good. I think he just failed by one, so it was not a complete disaster, but it was definitely off step, off beat. And that is how we closed it. And now we begin. It is the day of the eventful marriage between Robb Stark and Daenerys Targaryen. It is being held in the Kingswood, south of King's Landing, up to much debate and disagreement. A lot of people wanted it to be held in the Sept of Baelor in King's Landing, but Robb and Daenerys both agreed that they wanted to hold it in the forest, in the woods, because traditionally at Winterfell they would have been married in the Godswood, in front of a weirwood tree. And so there was a little bit of a compromise. Probably up until the very end, they were trying to get them married in the Sept, just because the Faith of the Seven is very prominent in the South, and a lot of people who follow the Faith of the Seven kind of think it's, a little bit blasphemous not to hold it there. But Robb and Daenerys agreed, like, they will be married by a Septon, though, in the Kingswood. And even though there's a little bit of disagreement about it, it still happens. They find a big open glade. A lot of the small folk from King's Landing don't really attend. There's still a substantial crowd of just the common folk outside of the noble houses and their retinues. There's people climbing trees to try to get a good vantage point. Ricaro is not up with the main sort of wedding guests. Oberyn and Aemond are up there. But it was sort of discussed that Ricaro should hang back. Aemond is very, safe at this moment. Once the ceremony is concluded, rejoin him and take up his duties as bodyguard again. Let's see if anything terribly interesting happens while the ceremony is going on. And we will take out the mythic GM emulator second edition, and let's see here, 48. 48, what does that? I feel like we've had that before. Intellect. Definitely sounds like we had it before. 87. Succeed. Succeed. Intellect. We'll do another 14. Block. Succeed. Intellect. Block. So is he trying to block somebody? Okay, yeah. I think Aemond is doing this. He's back in the crowd. There's small murmurings. Nobody can hear the septon and the vows being exchanged from this far away. So there's light murmuring, I think. We are going to roll a d6. I rolled up another, wrote down a few tables of just things to random roll. 6. Okay, someone from the Westerlands. Which is the region held by the Lannisters, Casterly Rock. It's this area up over here. Who are they talking to? To someone from the Riverlands. Okay, I'm going to see if we are going to do a 90-10 if the person from the Westerlands is important. 90 or less, they are not important. 10 or more, they are important. 51, unimportant. And we're going to do the same with the Riverlands. 90 or more, they're somewhat important. Less, they're unimportant. 12, unimportant. Okay, intellect, succeed, block. I think the two are discussing probably something that is in poor taste. Maybe... okay, we're going to do a 50-50. Low, it's about the groom. High, it's about the bride. Low is about the broom. It's about Robb Stark. And they are discussing what would be something a little bit untoward, a little bit scandalous, probably about how it's a poor match for the heir of a great house to marry somebody that used to have station. Like the Targaryen dynasty is long gone. Like she is the last of it, essentially. And this wedding is kind of the end of the Targaryen dynasty when she takes Robert's name and becomes Daenerys Stark. And Rikaro is going to move in and position himself. And I think he is going to bring up the fact, like, oh, you two, who do you think would have been a better match for Robb Stark than Daenerys Targaryen? The Wolf and the Dragon. Uh, it's a brilliant match, in my opinion. And the two kind of look at this Dornish young man with kind of like, you're eavesdropping on us, and like, how do you figure that, Dornishman? Like, they both come from very powerful houses. Even if she has nothing politically to bring to the table, the Targaryen dynasty will outlast, their name will outlast whatever house you're from. And the two kind of squint their eyes and narrow at him, like Dorners have no concept of, the real politics that go on, with the lords. Like, it's folly. The Starks actually, I'd say, weaken their position with the rest of the realms, who wants to be an in-law to a mad dragon. And the Riverlander kind of steps in and goes like, yeah, I mean, Robb Stark could have had his pick of any of the fine ladies from the noble houses. Marjorie Tyrell. He kind of falters a little bit, trying to think of someone. I think we are going to use knowledge for Rikaro to come up with a little comeback. So that is a 3. I think this is going to be challenging. He does not know the all the sons and daughters of the great houses. Marjorie he knows of because of just kind of him and Rikaro, discussing the Queen of Thorns, Olenna Tyrell. So this is going to be challenge of 9, so we need 9 or more. Oof, we do not get it. It's an 8. Like, well, I'm sure there's other. What about, your High Lords? Like, do you really think their daughters would, fare a better chance? And the Riverlander. I think I know. This Riverlander has a badge of House Frey, which is 2 castles on either side of a river connected by a bridge. He's a member of the Freys, and he could have honored my Lord Frey by wedding one of his daughters. I mean, the old man has plenty to spare, and granddaughters and great-granddaughters. And the man from the Westerlands, and oh, Joanna Lannister would have been a fine match. The Wolf and the Lion. It would settle the sort of bad blood, the tensions between House Stark and House Lannister. And I think this is going to be a 3, just to see if the two men, sort of their proclamations, rattle Rikaro in any sense. Okay, so it has a intrigue defense of 10. Oh, son of a biscuit. Okay. That is a 12. I don't think these two are of a higher standing. I mean, they're probably not bastards, but they also don't know that he's a bastard. So we're just going to mark this down to an 8. Joanna, probably, Jaime Lannister probably has fine matches for her lined up already. And the two probably snicker a little bit, like that girl is no Lannister. She's more Dornish than, Westerlander. And the Riverlands man, like, again, Lord Frey has plenty of sons as well, and grandsons, and great-grandsons. They could be doing, a good service, strengthening ties between the Westerlands and the Riverlands by making an alliance with the Freys. Oh, the Freys are always trying to get in bed with, the other lords. It's the only way that they could actually be worth anything. And Rikaro is going to come in, and I think he's going to play up the Dornish part. I think this is going to be more charm than convince. Just to try to ingratiate himself into the conversation by having more of an opinion about like what if the Lannisters and Freys look to the other places, the Reach, Dorne. There's plenty of people down in Dorne that there's plenty of people, noble houses down in Dorne that you Northerners often forget. Do the Freys not like spices with their food? Does sand make them itch? And, what about the rock? Casterly Rock and, the Westerlands. Like, you all seem to be very isolated. There's great beauty down in Dorne. And, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think this is going to be formidable. He's inserting his people into the discussion of where they're from. They're the ones that should be getting married into great alliances with. Okay, that is not going to be enough. That is 6. That is a 9. Oof. And they look like Dorne. You have shit wine. You have ugly women. Your food isn't edible. You have no resources down there. Like, what would you bring up? Sand? Is that all that the Dornish can offer? And I think, yeah, we're going to go. That is his play. Rikaro not doing too well with these two. 5, 8, 9 fails. I'm like, did you so quickly forget that the Sand Lioness is half Dornish, Westlander? And he kind of like, it's not what I meant. Like, who do you have down there? The Danes? Ha! And what about, the prince down there, Doran Martell? Doesn't even make it up here for, this, high wedding. And the Riverlander, like, I hear he's a cripple now. He's got the gout. Like, too much time eating and, whoring around and being degenerates down there. And I think, is there intimidation? I don't think there's intimidation. I think intimidation is like under persuasion, but Yeah, he does not have. So I think this is just going to be a general persuasion roll for him. So no bonus dice. And it is... do I want to up it? I think we got to up it to hard. Oh, wait, I need to be adding +2 to these. That last one would have worked. Okay, I'm going to keep it formidable. Like Quentin and Tristan Martel, Prince Doran's sons. I think he stopped himself from saying Ariana Martel, just because he knows how Aemond feels about her. And, okay, so this is going to be 12 or more. All right, 8, 13, 12. It is a success. Okay. So the two, like, look at each other and, like, well, they are sons of Prince Doran. I'm like, but they're Dornish. You know, Tywin Lannister wouldn't let his granddaughter marry a Dornishman. Like, that would be insulting. It's, you know, he's already surly enough that his only son, you know, is married to one. And I think Rikaro is... We're going to do another knowledge check for him because Tywin Lannister has 2 sons. He has Tyrion. Actually, this would be more status. I think he's checking the status, so he is going to get a bonus die. He kind of knows reputations. And Tyrion, the imp Lannister of Casterly Rock, is something that gets whispered and gossiped about. I think it is challenging, though, just for him to see if he can recall that detail really quickly to add in. 8. Okay, so that is 11. That is a success. And like, but you are forgetting about Tyrion Lannister. It's not Tywin's only son. He could probably be married off to, you know, some noble. And the Westerlander looks down at Rikaro like, the imp. Disgrace to the Lannisters. Like, Tywin's shame. Like, who would willingly marry that deformed fool? And Rikaro hasn't met Tyrion. Like, well, you know, perhaps if you could forgive this shame of a Lannister, you could forgive, you know, put aside your feelings and opinions for the wedding. It's not like, you know, Daenerys was going to wed to you two. I think, that's good. We are definitely going to do Persuasion Charm. And I'm going to remember to do the +2 this time because I have it written here. I also have the -1d versus higher status. Once again, that bonus dice doesn't come in handy. It's probably a challenge of 9. Oh, so 10, 14. That is a great success. I'm going to consider that little interaction concluded. I think the Westerlanders, like, they hear that little joke that Rikaro does, like, Daenerys wouldn't have even looked at either of them, kind of insults their honor a little bit, and like, but, you know, she could have married into the phrase, and like, they could have married into the Westerlings, or, you know, maybe not the Lannisters, but, you know, Tywin's brother Kevin Lannister has a young son. Lancel could have, you know, married into the, you know, lesser branch of the Lannister family. I think they get more into that then criticizing the wedding. And I think we're going to mark that down as a success. And like all royal weddings, highborn weddings, it goes on and on for quite a while. If anybody's ever been to a wedding, you'd understand. And I think it concludes. There is one thing, though. After Robb and Daenerys say their vows and kiss, Viserys Targaryen, who's off to the side of Daenerys, brings out a gift. Takes it out of a box, and it is a weirwood sapling. Something extremely rare. I'm not even entirely sure if there are any weirwoods south of the neck, save for the Isle of Faces. But most of all of the weirwoods in the south were destroyed by the Andals when they came over. And he presents it to the two, and they, right there, where they got married, they dig a hole and they plant this weirwood sapling. And there is a awkward bit of cheering and murmuring. I'm going to give this a 50-50. High Rikaro hears kind of the whispers of like that's just sacrilegious. Bringing the traditions of the North and their worship of, blood trees and, their old gods down here. And if it's low, there's people like, oh my gosh, like weirwoods haven't been around here in, thousands of years. We are going to see which one Rikaro hears. 91. He hears a lot of disgruntled small folk talking about how it is like that's a bad sign. That was ill done. I think Rikaro is just kind of hold his tongue. The bride and groom march down a path made for them to go to the more formal feasting area that had been cleared out of this part of the Godswood, and the celebration to start. The high lords and ladies of the noble houses and their retinue trail behind them, cheers going up. A lot of the small folk are probably going to return back to King's Landing or their little homes and hamlets. Let's leave it up to the dice. Let's use the D100 as a percentile. 4%. Okay, so 4% leave. There's still a lot of people that want to be a part of this royal festivities. So a small number, I think it's the most hard-lined believers in the faith of the seven that leave. Like, we're not having any more of this nonsense. But everybody else is like, it's still a wedding put on by the king. There's going to be food. There's going to be jugglers. There's going to be jousts and, archery contests and the melee. And I think that is where we will transition. The feasting is happening. I imagine this started very early in the morning, probably started at sunrise. Probably took an hour or two to get through all the words and the scripture from the Book of the Holy Seven. And then into mid-morning, there was feasting, congratulating people, showing up and giving gifts and, well wishes, that sort of thing. Aemond and Rikaro are probably nowhere near all the high lords and ladies of that celebration. They've made their appearance, and now they're just enjoying the food, mingling. Let's see here. What? Yeah. Aemond goes like, "Hey, how did you enjoy the wedding? That was unbearably boring. I do hope my own doesn't take that long." And Rikaro kind of scowls a little bit, like, "Well, certainly, have a little bit stricter guest list. A lot of the people out in the back had some very strong opinions about this Robb Stark and Daenerys Targaryen." And Emily like, Daenerys Stark now. Like, you need to be more mindful of your manners, blood brother. These northerners, north of the Dornish marches, they take great offense when you do not appropriately title and address them. Rikaro nods his head and like, "I will dutifully remember that, Aemond." And they're just kind of chewing the fat, talking about stuff, and we are going to do a notice check. Wasn't that what it was? It was awareness. There it is. Actually, I think it's just going to be a general awareness because Rikaro isn't actively looking for anything. He's just scanning the crowd, sightseeing, overhearing little gossip, and I think this is just going to be routine. See if he catches something that I have in mind right now. Whoop. 11. 11-6. That is a great success. So he's looking around, nibbling on probably just like a small bowl of food that they picked up from one of the big feasting tables, and catches the eye of Belena Snow, and he kind of freezes like his like chicken just kind of like halfway up, and she gives a polite little finger wave. I'm gonna test his intrigue defense with that. I think it's just gonna be 3. It seems innocent, but maybe perhaps there's more. We will see. So 10 or less, he maintains his composure. 6-8, he does. He returns the wave, but I don't think he's gonna engage with it. Actually, Aemond elbows him in the corner like, blood brother, I believe she fancies you a little bit, being the dashing southern savior that you are. And Rikaro like, I don't think it's anything quite like that. She just, saw us. She recognized us. Doing 2 chance encounters in one day is hardly a chance encounter. And Aemond goes like, "Oh, are you saying it's fate? Has Rikaro Sand started believing in fate now?" Not to say that. We are in very similar... I lost his voice for a minute. Not to say that, Aemond. It's, the circles that we run around with, like, we were bound to, bump into each other from time to time. And Aemond gestures around like, "There's got to be over 1,000 people here, Rikaro. Like, what are the odds that us sitting here far away from the high tables and of anything particularly of interest, surrounded by all these people, and she looks at you and you look at her at the same time? Perhaps give it another thought. Aemond, I'm going to give him a bonus dice for that. Just him kind of bringing up fate and destiny, that sort of stuff. I do have destiny points here that I probably should use, which grants you a reroll. I think it's a reroll of a dice. All right, so 10 or less. Oh, nope, not even close. 12, 14, 16, so beats it by 6, so that is a great success. So definitely has okay. Aemond, I appreciate what you are doing, but I'm only going to be here for a little while. We are only going to be here for a little while. We are going back to Dorne. I don't want to start anything with any of these people here. Okay? I am just your bastard bodyguard, and I am fine with it. And Aemond, like, you scared? Scared you might catch a little bit of feelings for these northern beauties? And Rikaro just flushes pink, or as pink as the tanned man can get, just a little bit darker in the cheeks, and like, I swear, Aemond, you only think about fighting and girls. That is it. And Aemond like, oh, speaking of fighting, we should go check out the jousts. I think the jousts are going to be starting soon, and then the regular melee will be happening in between rounds in the lists, and they got the little area set up for squires. Besides, we should probably go see Prince Joffrey, make sure that he is still upholding the agreement that we had for us to enter the squires melee. And Rikaro quickly finishes his food. Like, okay. We'll go find the prince. We'll do this little, melee. And then, honestly, I could use with a little bit of a rest. The air out here in these thick woods is very congestive to me. And Aemond just kind of like, oh, you would have hated it in the north, Rikaro. The air is sometimes so cold that you can even see your breath coming out from your face. Ooh, I think this is just going to be like a little bit of teasing that Aemond does to try to rattle Rikaro. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so it does. So he's down to 5. He's lost half his composure, mostly just talking to Aemond. So eventually they finish up. They watch a couple of tilts in the list. King Robert is there. Queen Cersei is there. Their youngest son, Tommen Baratheon, is there, and he's about 12 years old. Just kind of leaning in and watching. Prince Joffrey isn't up watching the jousts. He's off walking around or doing something. I think we are going to look for the prince, and I think it's going to be I think it'll be challenging, not formidable, because it's easy to find a prince with his guard. Probably has the king's guard, and has Sandor Clegane, the Hound, his personal bodyguard, much like Rikaro is Aemond's bodyguard. Okay, so that's 10, 13. 4 okay, that's 7. So that is a great success. So they wind up finding him. And Aemond approaches like, my prince, I hope you plan on honoring your word from last night. And Joffrey turns around and like, oh, yes, I do remember. You're a Sand. That's right. You're Prince Oberyn's bastard son. Yes, I recall now. You petitioned to have yourself and your bodyguard enter the squire's melee. And Aemond nods his head up and down like, yes, you are a prince of your word, I trust, and you've gotten your father's blessing and everything. And we are going to do a little bit of an insight. I think it will be, go back, see what the little abilities, let's see, this, would it be cunning? Decipher, logic. I think this is going to be awareness. I think it's going to be empathy, though. Yeah, is there a, like, discern lies? Not seeing it offhand. Yeah, so I'm just going to say it's a regular awareness check. I think this will be formidable, though. As the Crown Prince is trying to cover up if he did or did not. Actually, we will... low, he did not ask his father for permission. High, he did. 56. I'm going to say that he did, but Robert did not give an answer. That seems dramatic to me. And we will do a awareness to see if Rikaro can pick up on Joffrey telling the whole truth. Oh, dang. 10, 15. What is it? I was formidable. So 15. Yep, beats it. He can see, like, yes, I asked my father. As you said, Sand, I'm a prince of my word. And Rikaro was like, and what was the king's ruling on allowing us to participate? And Joffrey just like, he listens to me. I am his eldest son, heir to the, Iron Throne. Going to be king of the Seven Kingdoms. Of course he's fine with it. Like, Dornish are always so suspicious. And Rikaro, I think, glances over at Aemond like, I don't know if we should be actually doing this. And Aemond is like, the prince said it was fine. For me, that is good enough. Okay. So do we know if this is with live steel, just training weapons, and something like that? And actually, let's see. I don't think they would give squires and just regular folks live steel. But who knows? They might. I'm going to go 80 or less, they're not. 81 or higher, they are getting live steel. Okay, so it's not live steel. All right, like, no, we don't want a whole bunch of peasants poking their eyes out. Of course, it's just blunted steel. And, blunted sticks and, soft wooden mallets for hammers. Joffrey kind of strikes a bit of a pose, like, actually, I was going to ask my father if I could wield his warhammer in it. And Aemond's eyes kind of go wide, like, really? The hammer that slew Rhaegar Targaryen? You will be using it in the melee? And Joffrey, like, no, I just told you, we're using practice weapons. Huh. Actually. And Joffrey kind of pauses and looks around like, I just thought of something very, very clever that I think both you and some of the other ill-conceived lot of nobles here will enjoy quite well. What if there was a melee just for you bastards? And Aemond and Rikaro exchange, kind of confused, like, what do you mean, my prince? A squire's melee and a bastard's melee? And Joffrey grins like, yes. Don't you see? It's perfect. And at the end, let's say 7 champions, the final 7 of both bouts, face off against each other, the legitimate and the illegitimate. I am going to bring this up to my father. I think, and petition that we use real steel in this to sort of make it interesting. I think this is going to be intrigue roll for Joffrey against Rikaro. Lifesteal, splitting this out, like bring this to the king, like regular squire's melee, a bastard's melee, and then members of each fight off against each other. It doesn't sound like a good idea to Rikaro. Like it seems like I didn't even want to do this squire's melee, and now it's turning into a whole thing. Aemond, stop this! Like, this is foolish. And Joffrey is going to roll. He is the prince, so I'm giving him 2 bonus dice and 4 regular dice. Ooh, yikes. Okay, so getting rid of these 2. Okay, so that is 10, 14, 16. That is a great success. So it was 5 to a 3. Ricaro's getting so browbeaten in these discussions. Like, Aemond, are you really going to let your bodyguard... Aemond, are you really going to let your bodyguard tell you how to live your life? You seem like a man of action and danger and risk, the kind of thing that gets you noticed by a king that could legitimize you out of your, bastard surname. And Aemond turns to Rikaro like, I say we do this. If we agree to this as a favor for a prince, and Joffrey kind of looks like, it's no favor, it was my idea. Ricardo leans in like, Aemond, I don't think this is wise. Do you think Oberyn would approve of such a thing? I think we are going to do a convince for that one with between Rikaro and Aemond. This is kind of the first time Rikaro is very persistent in questioning Aemond's decisions here. I'm gonna say it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to convince Aemond out of this idea to put support for Joffrey's idea of these two melees and then like a grand melee tournament. All right, so it's got to be a 15 or more. Oh, it might. No, 8 to 11, and Aemond like, Rikaro, geez, by the 7. I am tired of trying to push, pull, and drag you into, living a life of adventure and, value. Do not hold me back either. Like, I can't believe these past 5 years have made you so cautious. And Ricardo like, I am cautious because I'm concerned for your safety. I'm supposed to protect you. I haven't been able to do that for the last 5 years, and now we reunite, and you're going headlong into a prince's, plot for a melee that could see you seriously hurt or even killed. And Amy was like, then be by my side, Ricaro. Like, we can do this. I have trained in the north. You have been trained in the south. Like, I do not fear the outcome of this melee. And Joffrey just, well, good. It sounds like it's settled then. I will make sure that my father knows that Prince Oberyn's son has consented and is helming up the caucus of the bastards. Go round up a significant number of them. It'll be enjoyable to see who all makes it to the final 7 standing. And I think the Hound, Sandor Clegane, just like grumbles like, what a waste of time. And Joffrey goes like, oh, quiet, you'll enjoy it. You love a little bit of bashing and bloodying. As you say, my prince. And Ricaro turns to Aemond like, I apologize. I should have not spoken against you out of turn in front of the prince. That was... I'm sorry. Aemond, I'm not used to seeing you as what you have become. And Aemond like, what have become? Ricaro, we're friends. We are. And Aemond holds up his hand, and there's a faint, thin scar along it. And like, we are blood brothers. The day that I left, and all the days since, and all the days yet to come, you are my brother. And Ricaro extends his hand, and there's a similar cut. And like, I don't want to fail you, Aemond. And you are right. You are right. It is not my place to question which direction the wind is blowing you, merely to follow suit. I will, and there's a bit of a pause. Ricaro doesn't know what to say after I will, and Aemond puts a hand on his shoulder, like, Ricaro, we're going to be fine. And Ricaro looks up and like, I will protect you. And that is where we're going to end it right here. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Please do the likes and comments. The comments are surprisingly helpful. They help me understand like what people like, point out things that I could maybe work on. I'm trying to get voices a little bit. Hopefully you can pick up the difference between Rikaro Sand and Aemond Sand. Yeah, so thank you all for watching. I thought we were going to be getting into combat today. Apparently not. But it was just kind of sort of inspired that Joffrey, who asked his father, to let Aemond and Rikaro join, but he never got an answer back, and then just kind of being inspired, like, let's hold two of these smaller unknown melees. Let's have one be the royals or the like the highborn, and then one be the bastards, because there's plenty of those like all around Westeros. Uh, and yeah, probably next time, uh, we will. Next time, I'll just bust out a battle map and we will start off with a bang in a melee. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time. Johnny Mo. Be seeing ya.